Orchard Supply.
As the investigation into last week's mass shooting in Connecticut continues, we are learning more about the gunman. 20-year-old Adam Landry connection between this disorder and the violent episode that unfolded in Newtown last Friday morning. To talk more about it, we're joined live on the Newsline now by Dr. Carl Feinstein. He's a Stanford psychiatrist and the division chief of child and adolescent psychiatry at Lucile Packard Children's Hospital. Doctor, thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. Tell us more about Asperger's syndrome.
Well, Asperger's syndrome is a disorder that is often thought of as a mild form of autism, as you seem to have described, in which social awkwardness plays a very important role, and it makes it harder for those people to function in social milieus.
Dr. Feinstein, if you would help us clarify one other issue that perhaps is being misreported by the media fairly widely, and that's that Asperger's and autism are in fact forms of mental illness, when in fact they really are more neurodevelopmental disorders, are they not?
Well, they are neurodevelopmental disorders, and it's actually important to note that Asperger's is being phased out as a diagnosis, but I think it's still obviously part of this discussion. They are neurodevelopmental disorders, but they are included as psychiatric diagnoses. However, I think the important point here we must move to is that this is very wrong. It's a very bad mistake and inaccurate to associate Asperger's disorder with violent behaviors. These families and these children, these people have plenty of difficulties to deal with, and to sort of be associated with violent behavior inaccurately does great harm, needless harm to them.
So there is a huge difference between having social awkwardness that thousands and hundreds of thousands of people might have, having a developmental disorder, and having a mental illness. We're talking about three different things.
We're talking about three different things, and there is absolutely no reason to associate Asperger's disorder as the reason why this young man did this terrible thing. There are many other possible explanations, and we're finding out many other things. Even if a diagnosis of Asperger's disorder was made by someone along the way, that really does not begin to explain why he did this terrible thing. And as we know very well, there are many violent acts that are committed by people who don't clearly have a mental illness or Asperger's disorder at all.
One of the things that I'm seeing today, and I think there in fact was a piece in the New York Times written by a mother of a child who is autistic, wanting to point out that one of the stereotypes that we tend to put out there in terms of autism is that these children lack empathy, and she takes issue with that. Could you weigh in on that as well?
Yes, I think that's a tremendous it has a slight element of validity to it. It's mostly not accurate. I think it would be more accurate to say that these children have a lot of trouble reading other people's feelings, and so it's more difficult for them sometimes to be accurately empathic. But many of them try very hard to be empathic, and even if they aren't very good at it, that is very different from being coldly wanting to hurt another person. That is not what some kind of difficulty with empathy is all about. So I don't think there should be a confusion between difficulty empathizing and murdering little children.
Dr. Carl Feinstein, thank you so much. Stanford psychiatrist, division chief of child and adolescent psychiatry at Lucile Packard Children's Hospital.
KCBS News Time, 6